noticed that this year I have seemed to have changed my makeup wearing preferences, or at least just my habits. And more often than not, if I'm wearing eyeshadow, it is very simple. It might just be a little bit of dark eyeshadow as a liner and a little bit of light in the inner corner. Other than that, I don't usually do that much. So there is a lot of eyeshadow specifically that's just sitting in my collection, not being used very frequently, as well as some other products, but mostly eyeshadow because that is the biggest collection within my makeup stash, essentially. I have a few blushes that I don't really use that often because I'm super focusing on this blush palette. And I also have a few lipsticks I'm neglecting in my efforts to try to finish up this one lipstick that is absolutely ancient, but I'm so close to finishing it, and I will finish it if it's the last thing I do. But because of that, I wanted to do a bit of a challenge to specifically try and use all of the makeup items that I've noticed I use the least. So I have today for eyeshadow, which I'm going to start with because I don't know how the makeup's gonna go, so I'd like to start with eyeshadow in case I need to clean it up. But I wanted to use this Nomad Whistler Snow Lodge palette. This palette is really special to me because my boyfriend got it and we went to Whistler, British Columbia together last summer. It was super fun, and we're planning on going back there sometime in the winter to actually go skiing. You can see it's a super gorgeous palette, but as someone who tends to wear more neutral leaning stuff, it's certainly not something I wear a ton. I do really like this dark green as an eyeliner, and this brown's really gorgeous. This is a lovely, lovely inner corner shade. It is a beautiful formula. I wish this was the same formula as that. This one's a little powdery. I don't know why. It's like the only formula I don't really like, and I do like the color. This is a nice muted, warm, rusty kind of red, more approachable than a bright red. And this is also really gorgeous, and the black's really good. I used this brown once for a pirate look. It was really fun. I have not reached for either of these blues other than just swatching. And I think part of the reason is because I got this soon after I not used up, but was focusing on a really old blue eyeshadow, very similar to these two shades. And I was really focusing on it, so I wore a ton of like blue eyeliner, and so I haven't really, I did enjoy it, but I think I got a little burnt out of that look. So I want to focus on that. There's also a few shades I thought I stored away in here that I don't use a ton, like this coral shade I rarely use, as well as this really bright, warm, shimmery pink. I think I always look at it and I'm like, oh, it's so vibrant, it's so warm. But I feel like I could maybe cool it down by pairing it with purples or blues or something like that. I don't know. It is really, really vibrant. It's a stunning formula. I mean, look at that. I think this is from the Beauty Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette, as well as this. This one is certainly way warmer. So I almost feel like I would rather focus on making this cooler than worrying about this shade, because this looks almost orange. I do have eye primer and a tiny bit of like beige eyeshadow to serve as a base. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do. I'm thinking maybe I should just swatch a few of these things to get an idea of what could work. That's kind of pretty. I kind of like that. And then maybe add this pale blue. Okay, so ignore my bad swatching. I feel like there's a color story here that could work. Okay, I feel like I have a sort of vision happening. I know I want to put this on the lid. I feel like I should start with that Snow Bunny pale blue shade in the crease. You know what? I'm just gonna go in with this matte and see how it looks, you know? Okay, so I ended up putting a lot of that light blue on top of the coral because I really didn't like how the color looked. And I think it just looks better this way. But I'm gonna do Black Comb, which is that really shimmery blue, as my liner. Right up next to my lash line, I'm gonna put a tiny bit of that matte blue called Snow Mad. So I'm gonna take a break from the eyes just because I don't know how I feel about them. But I'm gonna go in and just do my base. I don't have anything that I don't use very often for my base because I have 3 concealers and I use them pretty frequently. I will say I do have a contour that I rarely use because I'm focusing on Franken's, but I don't have it with me because I just brought this one. This is broken though, unfortunately. So this blush, this e.l.f., what is it, like the primer blush in Always Cheeky? I forget what it's actually called. This color is super pale, which I love, but when I bought it, I was hoping it'd be kind of like a pale, warm pink, but as you can see, it looks a bit more like peachy in tone. It's a bit warmer than I would have preferred. So it doesn't look the best on me, but as you can see, it definitely pulls much warmer than my skin tone. So I just don't use it that much. I wanted to wear it just today at least to figure out my feelings on it, if I can make it work, if it's light enough that you can't really tell the undertone. I just feel like on me it looks kind of orange. Is it just me? Like, I know it's not orange, but because it has that warm kind of peachy coral undertone to it, despite being super pale. To be fair, this eye look probably isn't the best thing to pair with it. I was thinking maybe if I paired it with this cooler tone pinky highlighter, it might cool it down a bit. I'm gonna do that same mix of this shade and the light blue on the lower lash line. And whatever's residual on this little eyeliner brush, I'm just gonna put under my lash line a tiny bit on the outer edges. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of this highlighter just on the very center of this eye look. You know what? I actually don't mind this blush. I think it looks better in person than on camera. I think everything in the camera looks a bit warmer for some reason. But when I pair it with this highlighter, it's really not that bad of a color. It's quite like a buildable color. It's so pale, it's workable. I think I can make it work. I'm gonna do my brows and my lashes and come back for my lips. What the heck are you doing, Jasmine? Jasmine, what are you doing? Get down! As for lipsticks, I was thinking of using some, but now that I see my look, I'm not sure. This is Barrymore from the Flower Beauty lipstick line. Is the matte shade. Really pretty formula. This color's really bright for me. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking this e.l.f. Seriously Satin Lipstick in Sugar Plum might be more fitting for the look because it's purple. But also very dramatic. This Milani I Am Strong lipstick. Again, all my least used lipsticks, first off, it's like half of them. They're gonna be bright or dark or both. But this is a really deep, cool tone red. I don't think that's really gonna work here. What I was thinking of doing was mixing this shade with, hey, shush shush. What I was thinking of doing originally was mixing this pink with this brown shade. This is the Milani Sensual lipstick. It's like the line with the cool packaging, you know what I mean? But I'm not sure if that brown mixed with pink will really work with this look. It might. But I think what will look really nice is maybe a sheared out version of this purple. I don't really want to do like purple lipstick, but maybe to make one of my least used lipsticks more approachable is to just shear them out, you know, wear them as like a tint of color. You know what, this when this purple shears out, it looks very like pink. So I'm gonna add a bit of this brown to hopefully tone it down a bit. Maybe that made it worse for this look. But I will say this is quite a pretty color. But it shows that when you have a lipstick that you might not use a ton, you can always mix it with other lipsticks. You know, you can always make it work. This is pretty. I just feel like it might not work with this eye look that much. Alrighty, so this is the final look using all the makeup items that I use the least. Obviously, I have quite a bit of makeup items that I don't use, and so I don't know technically which ones I've used the least in terms of numbers, but I just wanted to reach for ones that I know that I haven't used that often. But let me know what you think. I think this worked. I like the blend between the blue and the warm pinks to make something that isn't quite so bright and intense. But still it is colorful, it's fun, but I think these colors look much better on me. But I guess technically I kind of already have these colors and I don't need to mix stuff to get them. But this was a fun exercise to show that even if you don't like things in the pan, you can still make them work and end up liking them. I'm not sure about this blush, but I think it does work. It's just a little warm, but I think I don't mind it. Let me know if you've ever done this as a kind of fun challenge to try using the stuff that you know that you don't gravitate towards and try to make them work in different ways other than maybe just the regular color that they are. But this has made me think about ones that I potentially was thinking of decluttering, like the blush, and maybe I don't want to declutter it. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed and I hope that you have an amazing day.